Hello there. I am Stu. Stu Two Locks, or the Great Stu Dini. And we're going to talk some handcuffs and learning handcuff escapes. And I'm mostly going to talk Peerless 700Cs, which I think is the best pair for people to begin learning on. You could go ahead and get a pair of ASP Sentries, which are much easier to get into, but I don't think it teaches you. It's kind of like the clear lock in lock picking. It demonstrates the concept, but it kind of builds bad habits, or it doesn't help you with good habits. So probably I haven't tried them, but likely the Viper Techs might be a little too easy to depend on for learning. So hence, I think these are the best to start learning from. The nice thing, actually, in my opinion, is the horizontal keyway you learn on this with, and then when you switch over to all the other vertical keyways, it gives you something that is a challenge to reorient the things you've learned. So I think that's a good step up at that point in learning, and another reason why I think the Peerless are good to start with. And hello, anybody here? Oop, dropped the bobby pin. So it's easier to show you stuff if I'm not handcuffed. So if I take this bobby pin, I can go ahead and get out of this pair of Peerless 700Cs. I'm going to say that a lot. I feel like I need to say it just so I'm like demonstrating what the hell I'm doing. It feels official, so I'll say Peerless 700C. It should be a drinking game. If I say Peerless 700C, take a drink. And then if you reach your limit, stop, because I don't want you to get too drunk. So hello, how you people doing? We are talking about the Southern Specialties Shacklemen Cuff Club Handcuff Escape Set, pick set. I don't know how many words you want to add on to that, but it's for getting out of handcuffs. And we'll get to what's actually in the case as we get going. But we got to start with kind of how the set came about, what's going on, why it is. So at Coxey's Picks is an escape artist, Guinness record holder, just a man full of lore about handcuffs and escapes, things like that. He designed this double-sided shim. Just a lot of careful thinking about the length of the sides, the width of the sides for the American and European cuffs, as well as the amount of space to give you a good handle to work with it. So, and then he got Southern Specialties to make his prototypes, start working with it. And we all in the Shacklemen Cuff Club, because he's a member, wanted these shims. And I'll show you why. Go ahead and pop the cuffs on. We'll grab the shim. Now, if you check out Coxey's Picks channel, he'll tell you how to, with these shims or any other shims, kind of modify the ends to make them hit a little bit better. But straight out of the box, so to speak, you can make these work really nice. Like I said, you got a great amount of handle. It really hits on the shim job. So I loved the idea of this, and I should have had it prepared. I fell in love with using a notch decoder for a handled shim, something with a lot of handle like that. So it's right. You know what? Actually, hold on. I have a notch decoder I can show you. So there's a notch decoder. They tend to be pretty thin. I figured out they do a good job as a shim. When you have that on a handle, you have a nice handle on a shim. So I thought about this and said, can we put these shim profiles on a handle and make that happen? And that was the question. First question, I put the Southern. Second question was kind of from the whole Shackleman, as we were all working on lockpick profiles, deciding the best thing is to custom up sets and pocket pick sets. You can tell these are really beat up because I did a lot of practice and training, and I go hard on tools. So, but we were talking about what are the good things for early pickers for handcuffs and escape artists that can work both as a lock pick. So if you're dealing with locks and chains, or it does great with the modern swing through cuff style. And so as the group kind of like kept modifying what picks to tell people to start with, and we took the shim and the handled shim idea. So we worked with Southern to produce a set that first and foremost has the two shims on a handled format. Now when you order it, you're not going to get the engraving, but you're going to get the shim, and that's important. They are very nice. Let's go ahead and pop one set of cuffs off here using it. Show you what I mean. So it's easy to hold and get over where you need it. You got plenty to hold when you gotta reach over with the other side with your pinky or whatever. And then because you're holding this, you're less likely to bend everything up. You got a lot more control. One thing is, if you push it all the way down, because you got a lip and an edge there, you might catch a little bit. So I'll do a little bend back or pull a little out, but you have extra length for most of the cuffs that you're dealing with, and that's very nice. There you go, Shacklemen Cuff Club Escape. And that is the handled shim. The other shim's a little thicker, but on the Peerless 700C that I recommend everybody start learning to escape handcuffs with. That was almost too. That's not helpful. It's still, this one gets in there. Whereas some of your Chicago and Smith & Wessons, that's going to be too wide for. And you're going to need the more narrow. So that's those. With the set, as we've also already pointed out, you do get this shim. You actually get 3 of these in place of a set of turning tools. So on top of the tool handled shims, you got plenty of shims to work with. And again, if you're like me, you're going to bend some stuff up when you start out going hard. You want to have multiples, and you want to have a place you can reorder. Now, they come in this little vinyl case, but you can see I've added some things to it for my handcuff escape journeys. Got some oversized bobby pins, a split pawl shim for dealing with some high security stuff like the X22s from Chicago. I've got notch decoder. Oh yeah, I just showed you another paper clip. I've got a shim made out of some material sent to me from Southpaw Pick and Pete. And then a couple of pick profile you can use on handcuffs, and a what's called a knife profile for bypass in a lot of locks, but that's useful on cuffs too. So, and that's a shim made from a hair clip. So I always kind of end up modifying, adding to the things, the kits. If you look at kind of my fully personally, just a little bit of this, a little bit of that, things I prefer. Escape kit, and you can see I carry a lot of all that stuff. And that's on the way to kind of curating this. So let's talk about some of the profiles. You have a ball pick or a half snowman, a half ball or a quarter snowman. I don't know, that's snowman's ass cheek, I guess we can call that. You have a long reach, and you have an elephant trunk, which is kind of a gem hook with a bit of a monkey paw notch in it, which is the elephant trunks is the line that they have. So why do we have these? Why did we curate the set to include all that? Now, one, for this pair of, you're supposed to be harder to get out of. It's a rigid pair, TCH 850s. Things like this, the ball pick seems to get in there and not work. You should practice before you do this, right? I think that's the sticky side. So let's do this. Oh. And I don't use this much because I like the half ball. So I'm actually jamming myself in the key. Alright. If I can't get that, go back to what it's supposed to work on. Now, like I said, I find that this is hard to get in there, which is why I like the half ball, because I don't have to worry. I know I can get it into the keyway. I know I can work it around. I know I'm going to be able to work the cuff open. That little post there likes to move in tiny degrees, and the key will still fit, so it doesn't matter. But when it comes to working something around, so when I'm doing a half ball or ball pick, I have to hit the pawl right there. I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to swoop the round part around underneath the rim till I catch the pawl. I'm going to lean back, and I'm going to move the pawl. So that's why it works like that. If I can't work it that way, I'll put it in backwards that way and work from the bottom to get myself into position and be able to open it. So dealing with tightness of this keyway and differences between one cuff and the other, that's one way you deal with it. Now, one of the things, let me go back to here. One of the things you learn from, oh, that's the wrong one. One of the things you learn from at Coxey's Picks is the pointy pokey thing and how well that does. So I just got to square it off pointy at getting where you need and attacking the pawl. But it does take a lot of practice to kind of know where it is, feel where it is, and hit it quick with something like that because you don't have a lot of room for error. Hence, more of the, as I refer to the half ball method, the swoop method. But the nice thing about a long reach is it gives you a little bit of leeway, just a little extra movement underneath to where you need to get, so you don't have to lean as much. Get in there and pick that. And it's a wonderful profile for lock picking. I didn't think much of it at first, but at NOLA Southpaw, it really turned me on to it. So, and then he hates the fact that I use these for handcuffs because I tend to screw these up. I bend the shit out of a lot of this stuff because I don't have patience. Once I put myself in cuffs, I want to get the F out, man. You know what I mean? So, leather handcuff holders. Oh, yeah. Cereal. That is made by At Random Jim. He makes just amazing leather things. Pinning trays, handcuff holsters, knife holsters, belts, sunglass holsters. He's an amazing lock picker as well. He's a great escape artist. He's in the Cuff Club. In fact, he did this, and I didn't seal this. I wanted to kind of let it naturally happen color-wise. But when he originally colored it, that's what the color was. That's his stamp. So, At Random Jim, man, he's got amazing leatherwork skills. You guys should check him out. He's an awesome escape artist and lockpicker as well. So, back to the long reach. We'll go ahead and do multiple cuff escape. Don't mind me. It's easier to put them on off camera because I got to lean forward to be on camera. So, got them on one wrist. And let's go ahead and get them on that wrist. Alright, there we are. 3 pairs of Peerless 700Cs. And Shacklemen Cuff Club Set. Long reach. Gets right in there. And hits that spot perfectly. Ooh. I gotta practice with that left hand. But there you go. I think it's a nice nice profile. That's why I think it helps teach the pointy pokey thing. After you're using this, you're gonna get better at using, where'd it go? Shiza. Alright, let's use that. No. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's when you're going to get better at found item escapes. So when you're dealing with a bobby pin, or you're dealing with a little straight metal thing, you know, most of the things you find aren't going to have the perfect hook or a nice angle. You just need them to be straight, strong and thin enough to get in there. And then you're supposed to be able to manipulate what you're doing. So this kit is a beginner's kit. It's about progression. It's about learning. The next thing we have is a hook. It's basically a short to medium hook. You can do this with a gem or a flat hook or a round hook of most lockpicks. But the point is nice. The little notch is nice. This one just seems to be overall better. Now I'm going to go in there. The hook end is going to swoop underneath the rim. I'm going to hit the pawl. I'm going to release this. I refer to that as the swoopy method because pointy pokey needed an ancillary. See, it's too tight there, so I'm going to go around to the other side and I'm going to get in. Instead of fighting and bending the pick, that's how I used to bend most of my picks, is fighting instead of kind of figuring out the other way. And the nice thing about this is if you can get it right there in the keyway, you can still attack it with the pointy pokey method. It's got a nice angle on there, and that point, instead of having a flat or a round, really helps you attack the pawl. And that's why this was included in the set, as opposed to those others. Those other are good profiles for attacking cuffs, but we just found that this is a little bit better. And overall, there's the problem with cuffs. So now personally, I tend to take these, and we like the idea of, like we said, modifying your stuff. There's ways to modify the shims to make them hit a little cleaner, a little better, round the edges, round the front edge. I tend to, even if I want the half ball, I'll shave a little side down, but I've taken most of my balls and taken them down to a half ball, because that's my pick profile I like. Coxie does a lot of damage with the full ball, so it's not just about me and my preferences, it's about the collection of the Shacklemen. We definitely will be working on a further set and some other items that in the future will be very helpful for escaping cuffs. But this is the set we're working with. Now, I guess I should address attacking double lock. So the set can shim, the set can pick. Can this set attack the double lock? So to know that. Now we always tell you to practice this stuff in hand. You don't want to stick them on your wrists and start figuring it out there. That's not fun. I guess I should discuss safety. If you're doing this, one of the things we say to do is to have a lanyard around your neck, or a lanyard that you can grab real close by with a couple keys. Have extras because sometimes those break off. Have someone available that you can call to in case you get stuck, because you don't want to get stuck and just be stuck. All right, so I'm going to use the swoopy method, which is usually what you're always using to try to beat a double lock. So when you're picking this, the pawl is right about there. However, the double lock, it's right about there. All right, just in different spots. Ooh. I got a tight keyway in the bottom here. Doesn't really go through. Let's see. All right. So that's the other thing about this. A couldn't get in there tight enough. It wouldn't let me swoop around underneath. But I can get in there and just enough get through with that little little humps, your little snowman butt, and pop that double lock. So I've got a couple different attacks, which is why we like having profiles in this set. Is versatility, training, and learning. So now once I start modifying a set, I start adding a couple paper clips, or a couple bobby pins, paper clips, other shims, things like that. This is a hair clip, dollar store hair clip, $1 for 5 or 6 of them. Oh yeah, it's this style right here. The middle part's busted off. Oh, there's the middle part. And here that is. And that's why I like that as a shim. It's thin enough, strong enough. It's got a nice coating on it. Makes it smooth enough. As long as you're not doing stupid things, it doesn't bend too bad. And it's pretty cheap. You can replace them very easy. So, like I said, the other things added are some profiles, because the knife tool hits really well. I think I did. I might have shaved it down a little bit. I think I modded it a little bit. I might have to mod it a little more to hit it in some other keyways and things like that. I meant to put this down. And just nice little short-handled. And like I said, it's just a nice medium hook. Nice flat. I gotta be careful not to bend this. Or I can go ahead and bend it and treat it like a one-shot thing. I didn't bend it. I didn't bend it. I'll probably actually get in here. Okay. So that's a nice little aspect of the Peerless. Is they're susceptible to a side shim. So a shim goes underneath that, between those teeth and the teeth of the pawl. And once the shim gets between them, it pushes the pawl down, and it allows that to slip out. So with the Peerless, you can take a paper clip and kind of go on the side. It's on the side in the corner, but pushes more to the side. And you can use that to shim out. Which means on the side of this, if you can get things down in there and past that little nub that's supposed to prevent that, then you can actually push that pawl down and get out. So that is why that profile has been included in my little extras kit that goes with the Shacklemen Handcuff kit. This is available at lockpicktools.com. That's the website for Southern Specialties. You can also get it at Hardcase Survival, which I think is hardcasesurvival.com. If you use the code PICKME, you get 10% off. That's kind of a lifetime thing for those guys. And we don't get any money or anything from it. It's just they're great guys. They support the club. They're supporters of Mint Made, which is a lock sport group for veterans that I run. And we're just happy that they're working with us. They're helping us do cool things and learn things and teach more people about cuffs. Anybody in the chat? Let me roll back. Does anybody in the chat have a question? Anybody around here? Yeah, that was a bobby pin, Tony. I did a double lock in there. Yeah, I tend to just do more picking and shimming because those are the early phases of escape. You got to learn to shim and pick before you double lock. Because when you double lock beat, if you don't know what to do, you're just sitting there with a locked cuff still. So we kind of move in progression, and then that's when you move up to like holes up or behind the back, or you move into a rigid cuff, or you get into something like a derby, which is, you know, different picks situation altogether. Antonio, I don't know what that means, so I hope it's cool. If not, don't say that. Which way do you want me to go? All right. Well, I beat some Peerless. Since you're here, let's beat some Chicago handcuffs. These are the Chicago, dang it, I forget the number, but they're the lightweight aluminums. Put it on that way. And I gotta look. That's the problem with doing, like, if I'm messing with Peerless too long, I forget to look for the hole in a different spot. And these are the Chicago X55s, which is your basic Chicago set. If you get the Chicago Prisoner transports, it's a pair of the X55s with a chain attaching down to the 2200s on the feet. So you can get the individual hand and ankle ones, or you can get them connected with a chain. I have both. All right, so we are using the Shacklemen pick set. My go-to at this point is kind of a pointy pokey attack, so that's what I'm gonna grab. So it gets into the Chicago X55s just fine. It's into the lightweight aluminum just fine. And it's easy to feel and find the pawl lock and manipulate the pawl lock and get the cuffs off. That's why I put them back together after I do them, because when you leave them open, they start hooking on stuff. Now, does it work on hinged cuffs? A pair of Peerless and a pair of Chicago. So I guess the only way to find out is to put them on my wrists. Oh yeah, something I forget to tell people. If you're doing multiple cuffs, the best thing to do is put them all on one wrist, open them up, and then put them on the other wrist. Instead of being an idiot that tries to do it one at a time. Because that gets hard. So, alright. Make sure those are in there. Blah. Where's my pick? Here's my pick. Alright, these are supposed to be a lot harder. Now, the one thing that, obviously, I got my hole up. This is a beginning. Then you start working on hole down towards the hands. Then you start working on holes up, which makes it a lot more difficult when you're dealing with these. But, where's my thing? That's why we use something like this. If the hole was up here, I'd be working on attacking it like that. So, it's doable, just harder. It's the next step. So, but the hinged limits your movement. It pulls your hands in tighter, and it changes the angle you're coming down on. So if you'll notice, when I'm picking, I generally hold it like this. I don't hold it like this and try to do this, because that cranks on the wrist a lot more. Just figuring out how to do it like that, I have a lot more control, a lot less stress on the wrist. I can get in there. Well, I'm in there. And the other thing about multiple cuffs is when you pop one, you can't move your hands enough to get the thing off. So you got to kind of play with it more. There you go. That's a pair of Peerless, the black ones. 80TC hinged. These are the handcuffs that my local police use. They use the, the shiny version, but that's the cuff. I like to tell them that. And then that's the Chicago's. Ooh, I forget the model number. I gotta start remembering that stuff better. Alright. No chat, no questions, nothing going on. What's going on, y'all? Well, I'm just gonna have to try to get out of the folding rigid, right? Why are they called folding rigid? Because they're made to fold, so they can be kept in a case much easier. And when they need to be used, they can be pulled out, and they're nice and rigid. So, the other thing about this is you can backload them, so when you pop it on, it springs around nicely. And I have not practiced with these. The plastic case kind of gives a lip that's a little more annoying to get around, and changes your angle. And then when I'm trying to look over a camera, I can't even see what I'm doing. So there we go. Ah, nice. I was afraid I wasn't gonna get out of them. Tell you the honest to God truth. If I was being 100% honest, I'll probably blow this side. Well, let's just go ahead and try the half ball, since I do like it on these a lot. Hopefully, it'll explain why I like it on these. I'm hitting it. I'm slipping it. Come on, guy. Maybe I do need a full ball. There's a point when you gotta ask yourself, did I have too many beers before I did this? The answer is no, I should have had more. Alright, I'm stuck in this unless I can get out. Those are the rules. So did I do the double lock? Yep, there we go. tight tolerance in there. It doesn't want to let me out. All right. Well, you know what? It let me out enough. That works for me. Gotta work on that. So the TCH Total Control Handcuff 850 folding rigids. Shacklemen just we're about to conclude a series of 10 challenges with these cuffs, and I think the 10th one's gonna suck. So at Coxey's Picks, remember, at Coxey's Picks, Guinness record holder, Shackleman member, handcuff extraordinaire, and basically an encyclopedia of knowledge in his head. Great guy to have in the group. Never being locked into things. That's great. That's a great plan. Yeah. I actually, unfortunately, as a child, I had to learn to get out of being restrained because of bad situations, and it's a lifetime kind of drive. And when I finally got into handcuffs and found I could get out of them and I was good at it, it actually helped out. Helped a lot with my claustrophobia, some of my anxiety. Excuse me, I had to burp. So yeah. The pick set that I'm using is the Shacklemen Cuff Club, the Shacklemen Cuff Club Set. You can get them at Southern Specialties and Hardcase Survival. Southern Specialties is lockpicktools.com. Hardcase is Hardcase Survival. It comes with 4 picks, 2-handled shims, and the 3 double-sided handcuff shims. They are a great company. They've done a lot to... Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's the right one. I'm missing one shim. One shim. There it is. They've done a lot to support my channel, the Shacklemen Cuff Club, and I run Mitten Made Lock Sport for vets. We got a little channel at Mitten Made Lock Sport. We do supply and support and try to take care of some vets that are in the lock sport, bring more guys into it, because this shit's helpful for people with anxiety and OCD. People need a hobby, something positive to focus on. So that's what we do. That's why we do it. And my huge thank you to Southern Specialties for helping make the set happen. Thank you very much for everybody for stopping by. I hope you guys check them out. They have the They have the Peerless 700Cs available on the site, so you can order a pair of handcuffs and the set, not with my extras, but just with that. And you can get 10% off with the code PICKME. That's a lifetime. It's anything you're ordering, whether it's this stuff or not from them. So I encourage you, if you have any questions, I'm at C2Do. Look up the Shackleman hashtag. You've got at Not2Dead is the guy that co-founded the Shackleman with me. At Coxey's Picks is, like I said, a world-class escape artist, and he's part of the group and the inspiration for creating the kit, and he helped us make it happen. So hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we're going to be doing this again soon, so come back and look for more.